Thanks for Brother Innocent.
I was told to come down here to do some spoken word, but like the individuals who came up here before, it's not all about just talking, it's about action. It's about making sure that we come together. I've lived in Hayward for some years, also lived in Oakland, so I can understand everybody. It's on the news right now, and I'm kind of surprised that we don't see some of the athletes down here. If they want some more money, we see them on the flyers and stuff, but they're not here right now. Oakland A's, Raiders, whoever. I think there should be way more people. We know there are more people, but I'm talking about people who take money from the community. Like I said, he was on his way home. I was out on the BART New Year's Eve. So, and I come through this station all the time, just going to work or just period. I'm sick of this station right now. There's no way if I shot a cop right now that I'd still be able to get my paycheck or I'd be suspended. And it's bullshit to know that these individuals right now, not just the cop, but just the individuals right now are still being able to get a paycheck while this man has got buried today. The BART police is trying to bury this crime right now. Just like how we trying to bury Oscar Grant. But they're not going to bury this. We're going to keep this going. This is not a one-day type thing. And if the governor's not here, I want Dellums to be here. Everybody should be here to make sure that they're down here for Oscar Grant. Because Oscar Grant is not a black man. He was a man that got murdered. Anybody's children. There's 5-year-olds right now that could have been Oscar Grant. My nephew could have been Oscar Grant. I could have been Oscar Grant. We know what goes on with the police community. This is nothing new. This is not a new murder that's just happening. This is an epiphany that just happened in Oakland. Or just period. This is Jenna 6 now in 2009. We are now in Oakland and we're just sick of it. We're tired of it. So this is my spoken word, this is my stance, and I'm tired of all this. Any poet that is doing all kind of revolutionary poetry and they're not here today, then I'm disgusted with it. They need to be here. Any activist that's not active today is making me disgusted. Everybody should be here. Everybody should be here, black, white. If you live in Moraga, you should be here. If you St. Clair, Montclair, wherever, you should be here because your child got murdered. Oscar Grant. So that's why I'm here tonight. That's why I'm going to be here and I'm going to continue this going on. Thanks for everybody who put this on Facebook, MySpace, and put out bulletins because that's why we're here. Thanks for Davey D and everybody else who are here today.
Right now we're hanging out with Mr. Fab. We're still down here at Fruitvale BART Station. What brought you out here today? How are you feeling about that situation being an Oakland resident?
What I do is, man, Davey, anytime the community is put forth to have someone come forth and speak for them, I become that voice of the village. And it has nothing to do with the media hoopla of it, like, okay, everybody's down here, because I've been at events where there's only been 10 people who attended and still sat there and had a voice and had an ear. It's unfortunate, man, that Brother Oscar Grant has to be the symbol of awareness for police brutality. But if you go do your Oakland history and your research of just last year, Oakland police had 18 murders by themselves. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and people think Oakland, just because we're such an influential city, that we're big. Oakland's 13 miles. So out of 100 murders, for 18 of them to be by cops, that just goes to show you where their mind is and where the people's mind is. It's like, man, if I get pulled over, I ain't stopping. Like, I ain't finna stop. It's like war. It's against us. It's us against them. To answer the question, I came down here, man, because my voice and my opinion is valued by the public. Some of the things that some of the elders may have been saying that's very vital for the youth to hear, they may not interpret it as well as coming from my mouth, coming from them. So I want to come out and voice the opinions of the community and let them know this is a serious issue. Not only is it a serious issue for the times of today, but for the times of yesterday, to show that these things still exist. They're still going on, and not much has changed. And that's
all right, everybody. We just got word about 15 minutes ago. We're not 100% sure, but we just got word from a news agency that the officer has just resigned. However,
he ain't charged yet.
However, as I said before, we didn't want administrative leave. We did not want termination. We want him on trial in an American courtroom for a second-degree murder. I want everybody to put the fist in the air and turn in right now.
All right.
Ask me a question.
You know, you here in Oakland,
Yes.
being all the way from Pittsburgh this week with Jasiri X.
Yes.
What's it like for you to be out here and experience what you're seeing right now? Did you expect it to be like this? Look at all the police they have out here. And this is during the daytime.
Right. No, I didn't expect it, but I think that this is what is going to be happening, man, as we go into 09, man. And I think, you know, you're going to see it get a lot worse before it get better, man. People under a lot of pressure. You got the recession. You got all these different things. And so, but I did expect some type of reaction. I mean, when you have a young black man lying in a prone position of no threat to the officer, whether it's a taser or a gun, there was no reason for the officer. I mean, that was an outright execution. So in the wake of that, I did expect some type of response from the community. And so, you know, what happened last night or what's happening today, this is the police's natural response. When black people begin to organize, when really poor people in general begin to organize and come together, the natural response from the authority is to do this. One of the things that our Mr. Louis Farrakhan said is authority seeks to protect itself. So here you have, this is exactly what you're seeing. You're seeing an authority that's seeking to protect themselves, and they're saying if you're going to organize and do what you got to do, well, this is how we're going to come, and this is going to be our response. So the next question for us as activists is now, how do we respond? Because we're not talking about, we got to move beyond emotion. We're talking about strategy. We're talking about really developing serious justice. So it's like a move on a chessboard.
Right.
We made our move yesterday, they made their move.
Right there.
Yeah.
So, you know, how would you compare this to, say, Pittsburgh? You know, Oakland is very similar in size to Pittsburgh. You know, it's a blue-collar town, or, you know, and, you know, it has similar problems.
I would compare it exactly. In Pittsburgh, it would be the same reaction and the same response. Pittsburgh, there's been over 20 murders where the police have murdered young black men. The most egregious was a 12-year-old boy was shot in his back, running away from police officers. No police officer in Pittsburgh has ever been convicted or served time for the murder of any black, I guess you would say, victim in those cases. And so even in the case where this 12-year-old boy was shot in the back, even when the civil, their family won millions of dollars because they proved that these police officers were wrong and what they did, should not have pulled their gun, should not have shot them, both police officers are still walking the streets to this day, and that's the case of Michael Ellaby, 12-year-old Michael Ellaby, rest in peace.
There you go, man. We're here. What steps would you suggest people take?
Well, I think we got to take a couple of steps. The first thing that I would suggest is we got to really find out what the policy of the police is. Because if he's saying he was going to pull out his taser or whatever, well, what is the policy of using a non-lethal weapon? Because the man's in a prone position. It's two of y'all could have easily restrained him. So we really want to know what's the policy in that. And we really, I think the steps, you know, the lawsuit. But to me, greater than that, we have to begin to organize in a way to where we can begin, we're unified and committed enough to make the sacrifices it takes. Because if black people said, or poor people said, or oppressed people said, we're not gonna ride BART, then it would bankrupt BART. But we gotta be organized enough, committed enough, and unified enough to make that happen.
Well, there you go. We've been out here this week with Jasiri X. Peace.
Peace.